You ready? So looking up ratio and proportion. This is ratio and proportion, page 188. Alright, what proportion is shaded here?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 9 altogether. What proportion is not shaded? 5 out of 9. Proportion is shaded.
2 out of 6.
2 out of 6. Not shaded.
4 out of 6.
4 out of 6. This is 2 times, this is just 10 here. Shaded, not shaded.
7 out of 6.
So it's all about fractions, isn't it? Alright. Okay. So here's the smiley faces and the glums. So smiley, 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 glum and glum. Alright. So first, for every 3 smilers, I have 2 glums. So watch. So this is where ratio kicks in. So for every 6 smilers, I have 4 glums. Yeah. What's the ratio? 3 is to 2. So at the moment it was 3 is to 2. Watch. Look up. 3 is to 2. So 3 is to 2. So for every 3 I add 2 on the left hand side, isn't it?
Yep.
Okay. So it's the same as what we looked at earlier. If I have 2 cakes, here, how many proportions are shaded? Those 2 are shaded. So that's 2 are shaded. And 4 are not shaded. 4 are not shaded, 2 are shaded. If I put another cake there, four are not shaded, 2 are shaded. What's the total now at the moment? What's the overall total?
8 to 4.
8 to 4, yeah. And I put another cake in there. 4 are not shaded. 2 are shaded.
12 to 8.
12 to 6. Alright, so you keep adding 4 and you keep adding on the left hand side and you keep adding 2 on the right hand side. Is that simple enough? Right, we'll go to the question that you asked me to do on page 189. Express each of the following as a ratio of whole numbers. Alright, so we've got a half and we've got 2. We'll do it in terms of, look up, we'll do it in terms of cakes. Alright, how much of a cake do I have on this side? Half. Half a cake. And here we have 2 cakes, don't we? But what's the smallest portion? The smallest portion is a half, isn't it?
Yeah.
So we'll make everything into halves. Alright, so now we're talking about halves. How many halves do we have? How many? How many halves do we have? 4. Not easy.
Yeah.
If you draw it out in terms of cake, you get it done. Another one you asked for was VI. 1 1/4, 2. So we have 1 cake, and then we have exactly a quarter. What is a quarter? There. That's a quarter. So that's the smallest portion, isn't it? So we'll make this one in, make them all into quarters.
5 to 8.
It's not easy. This person gets 5 quarters. This person gets 8 quarters. Another one that looks hard. 3 over 4. 1 1/2. Draw a full circle first. Right. Well, that's a quarter, so the rest of it must be. That's 3 quarters, isn't it? Yeah. A quarter is the smallest piece, isn't it? So 1 is 4 quarters, isn't it? And a half is? A half is 2 quarters, isn't it? Just looking up. Right, so how many quarters do I have in total?
3.
And then how many quarters do I have?
6.
I have 6 quarters. So I looked at the smallest piece smallest piece that I can hand out. It's quarters in that case. All right, and any other, well, I have another one. 2/5 and 1/2. This time, smallest piece, draw a full circle first. And fifths, so it's kind of like a star shape, isn't it? Okay. And 2/5, and over here we have, well, there might be a bit of a problem here. Half. Can I do halves as?
No.
I can't.
Yeah,
No.
she's going to either 10.
10.
That's right. Right. So we'll take 2/5 first, and we'll change it up. So as you said. So double that.
4 times.
4/10. And the other one was a half. Change that up to tenths. 5/10. Does everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Alright, so now I'll rub out the half and rub out the 2. Now we've got tenths, as you said. So we've got 4/10 and 5/10. Alright, so I can draw my circle. And tenths. If I can break it up. Break it up into 5 first. That's 5. And then okay, so then we've 4 of them, so, and then over here we've got 5. 2, 3, 4 and 5. So 4 shaded areas and 5 shaded areas. If the bottom number here is the same, I can just use the top numbers, 4 and 5. Is that easy enough?
Yeah.
Okay, and then we questions like this, question 8. 2 is to 3. Proportion 2 is to 3 is the same as?
4 to 6.
Yeah, and how did you get to 4 to 6?
Just double them.
Yeah, you double them. Okay, but the way you should think of it as is John gets, if I'm sharing out sweets, John and Paul, John gets 2 sweets, Paul gets 3 sweets. Every time I'm giving out how many sweets? 2 and 3 is? 5 is the total. So I'm going to give out 5 more sweets. John gets 2 more, so now he gets 4. Paul gets 3 more, he gets 6. How many have we given out in total? 4 and 6s. Okay, and now we keep going. Add 2 more to that.
6.
So am I actually doubling all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am
It's going on
sharing. I am sharing. I am adding on 2 and I'm adding on
3.
3. 6 and 9 is 15. I'm sharing out 5 sweets all the time. The total of 2 and 3 is 5. Adding on 2 again. Adding on 3. 8 and 12. 20. The next one is 25. 10 and 15. It's all about sharing. It's not about doubling. Alright?
Yeah.
It's about adding on whatever the total is, add 2 and 3, and then adding on. If I took another example of
Say when you do number 9 to
J and P, yeah. So if I take another one, 2 to 7 is the same as
4 to 14.
6 is to what? Yeah. So 2 and 7, first of all, adds up to give you 9. So I'm going to add another 2,
6.
and I'm going to add another 7. Alright, now I'm going to I add another 2 to get to 6. Add another 7, I get to 21. What was the quick way of doing it? What was the quick way of getting from there to there? Yeah, 2 times
6.
3 gives me 6. And here,
2 times 3.
7 times 3 gives me 21. 3 times 9 here is, if you add these two, you get 27, don't you? Or add those two, you should get 27. So 9, 27. So, and the middle one here is 18, isn't it? Right, question 9, is it? Especially each of the following ratios in the simplest form. Change both sides to the same units. where necessary. So the same units, are they in the same units?
Yeah.
10 cents and 50 cent. They're in the same units. How do I simplify that? Both will divide by, divisible by 10. Divide by 10. Divide by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1. 1 is the 5. Okay, another one. 5 days, 2 weeks. It's just like the cake. Which is the smallest part? Days is the smallest part. So we've got 5 days. How many days in 2 weeks?
14.
5 is 14 days. Can I simplify? Is there a number that will divide into 5 and 14?
No.
Will 2 divide in? This is the way will 2 divide in? No. Will 3 divide into both?
No.
Will 4 divide into both? Will 5 divide into both? If 2, 3, 4 and 5 won't divide, you can't simplify further. Nothing else will. Right, question 9. 30 minutes. 30 minutes and 1.5 hours. So both 2 minutes. How many? 90. 90 minutes. What number divides into both?
10.
Yeah. 30. Quick and easy way.
1 to 3.
1 is to 3. Alright, so they're okay. And we will look at. Okay, so I have €60. I want to divide it in the ratio. We'll go back to John and Paul again. John and Paul in the ratio 2 is to 3. We've got €60 I want to divide out. So we can do it the real nice and slow way. Watch. John gets 2, Paul gets 3. Add another 2. John gets 4, Paul gets 6. Okay, what's the total so far? 5. We're nowhere near. We're only at 10. John gets another 2. 6. Paul gets 9. Where are we now? 15.
You can just divide 2 into 60 and 3 into 60.
Oh, I know, I'm doing it the boring way so you can figure it out. Alright, so 8 and 12. So that's very slow, isn't it? You can keep sharing it out like that. Or you can do what?
2.
Add 2 and 3 because every time we share we give out 5, don't we? 2 and 3 is 5. So John gets 2/5 and Paul gets 3/5. Alright, so John gets 2 and Paul gets 3. Right, 2 is to 3. So how do we figure out 2/5 and 3/5? How do you get 1/5 of 60? Divide by 5. You get 12. How do you get double that? 2/5.
24.
John gets 24. And Paul gets 36. Both of those should add up to 60, do they?
Yeah.
They do. Okay. Alright, so that's how you do those.
So can you do a 10 cent and 50 to ratio 50?
What question is that?
This one.
Question 9
9
on 189.
I just did 10 cent and 50 cent. Alright, there's another one, example page 190. If I have to divide something in the ratio as 4 to 3 is 2 and the total is €900. First of all, look up, add them up. 4 and 3 is 7 and 2 is 9. So add them up. 4 ninths, 3 ninths and 2 ninths. Right, so I have 3 calculations. This way. Divide by 9 and I get 100. Multiply by 4. 400. 1 second, sit there. Multiply by 3. 300. On the final one, divide by 9. Multiply by 2. 200.